Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. So in this video we are going to talk about the hacker and the bank problem. Seems more like a hacker rank problem, but it was asked in the previous year Wipro coding rounds. So we will look at this problem. Before moving on in this video, I would like to announce that we have started the crash course on aptitude section in Wipro. So you can also check out the crash course playlist which we have created, and we have also provided the videos in there. So we are coming up with videos every week, and you can subscribe to the channel to stay tuned for all the latest updates, and also click the bell icon. On a side note, I would also like you to request to join our Telegram group wherein you get all the latest updates on our videos, and also you receive different kind of quizzes which you can solve to test your preparation. So let's get started with the problem and see what the problem is all about. So the problem is as follows. A bank account requires a security passkey for the user to access the details of the account either online or offline. This requires a PAN card. A hacker who has a history with the bank wants to access the bank account, but he cannot visit the bank. He has the PAN number and the algorithm which the bank uses to generate the passkey, and the process of generating the passkey is as follows. All vowels are removed from the key entered. A special character appears before all the consonants, and all the consonants are converted into lowercase. Help him generate the passkey to access the bank account. Now, if you clearly watch this video, you might get an idea that what we are going to do. We have to generate the passkey for the given PAN number. If you have to just decode the problem into simpler steps, try to break the problem and understand what they are trying to say. So what we want to do is we want to generate the passkey from the given PAN number, and the process of generating this passkey has three steps which we have to do. So there can be two approaches which you can take, but the first approach which I am going to tell you now is always going to lead you to a wrong answer. This is because the steps which are mentioned here are not going to be applied one after the other or simultaneously. They have to be applied in steps. So make sure to watch the video up till the end so that you get to know what we are doing. So what we want to do in the first method, or the method which I will just explain you verbally and we will not waste time coding it, what you could have done is remove all the vowels. Special characters could have been added and the consonants can be converted into lowercase, all in a single step. But that will lead to a wrong answer, because obviously if you are trying to do this all in a single loop, then there can be many different types of errors, such as there can be errors like list assignment index out of range, if you know about this, wherein you try to access something out of your length of list or the length of array. And there can be many different instances of the answers, because we are adding and removing things. Also we are doing some kind of conversions, so your answer may vary. So always ensure that when you are trying to solve these kind of problems, always apply the given steps in different iterations and not in a single iteration. That is the first thing which you need to take care of. So let's look at the sample input and output. So the input will be the number of test cases, first of all, that is t, and then we will have the PAN numbers which will be provided up to t times, and the output is the passkey generated using this algorithm. Also we are given the constraints, that is t can be greater than or equal to 100 and n can be greater than or equal to 10. So it means that up till the max of 1000 you have to just ensure that your code runs. If this test case and the constraint goes above 1000, then there has to be optimized approach which you should do. However, we will be still looking at the problem in the light of the given constraints. So let's look at the sample input and output. So first of all, we are given the sample input, which is 3, that is the number of test cases, following which we are given the PAN numbers, that is the 3 PAN numbers are provided here, and then we have the sample output. So the sample output is as follows. So you can see that there are stars added before the consonants, and also there are lowercase conversions of all the uppercase letters. However, in the third output, you would see that the star is not added first because A is a vowel. So that is the different kind of iterations which we follow to come to the answer. So let's look at the code, that how we can achieve this in code, and also you need to ensure that your code runs in a proper manner and gives the desired output. So let's look at it. Alright, so we have the same question written here, and now let's start writing the code for it. For doing so, first of all, let's handle the input. So we will write a for loop which will be for I in range int input. So the test cases, that is the number of test cases t, is going to be handled in this for loop itself, and we will be taking the input, which is the PAN number or the key, as a string. Though it is alphanumeric, we are going to treat it as a string so that the operations are a bit easier. And then I will be defining a function, say answer. So the answer function will take a parameter s, and everything which we do after this will be evaluated inside of our function. So let's write the function answer, and it has a parameter string. So what we are going to do in this is, first of all, we want to create a list which will contain individual elements of our string. So let's name it as L, which will be the name of the list, and let's write list, which will be containing string. But the type of the string is nothing but the string itself, that is s, which we have passed. However, since we want each individual element, we will be using the strip function. Unlike the previous videos wherein we used the split function, there were space separated values. So in this case, since there are no space separated values, we are using the inbuilt method, which is the strip function in Python. So our list is now created, and every element of our string is now the individual element of our list. So the length of our string is similar to the length of our list. So now let's look at the second step. What we want to do is perform the first action, which is all vowels are removed from the key entered. So we can simply write a for loop wherein we iterate over the length of our list, and I could have written a simple value, say length, and we could have evaluated it to the length of our list, but we are not doing it purposefully, which you will come to know at a later stage in this code. So what we are going to do is, first of all, I want to check if the ith variable of our list is in our vowels list or not. Before that, we need to create a vowels a list as well. So let's write vowel, in which we have our variables. Now we have created our vowels list, which has the variables, that is a, e, I, o, u, both in lowercase and uppercase. What we could have done is that, first of all, we could have converted each string into lowercase and could have checked if it is in our vowels list or not, but we are avoiding it because since our string is an alphanumeric value, so if the ith variable of our list when converted to string is present in our vowels, then what we need to do is simply replace those variables. So for that, we can use the replace function in Python. So we will be using the replace function, and what we will be doing is replace the ith variable with an empty string, and obviously the length of an empty string is going to be 0. So that is why in this case what is going to happen is that our length can vary each time. So that is why for iterating in our loop, what we are trying to do is always using the length function to calculate the length L to avoid any kind of errors. So the first part of our loop is now complete. Now let's move on to the second part, wherein we have to append a special character before all the consonants. So let's create another list. Let's say the list is called as result, and in this result, or let's just define it as answer. So answer will be the list. Now what we are going to do is, first of all, we need to check if the length of each individual element of our list is greater than 0 or not. Now why is that the case? This is because we have replaced the values by an empty string in some cases where there are vowels. So to avoid any kind of confusion, wherein since we have to add the star before every consonant, we have to check if the condition which we are going to apply star for is even occurring, or if the condition is true or not. That is the situation where we have to tackle it. So what we are going to do is check if the length of L of I is greater than or equal to 0, and when converted to a string, if it is not present in vowels, because if it is not present in vowel, then only it's a consonant, we are going to simply append a star, which will be obviously a string, and after that we are going to append our element of the list. So it will be the string converted L of I, so that our complete list which we are forming is nothing but of a string type. So then this is the part which is now complete. Let's look at some kind of errors. So this is all good. We have to check it for greater than 0 and not equal to 0. So now let's move on to the else condition to this. So what we are going to do is simply append L of I, and we have completed the second part, which is a special character should be added before all the consonants, and the third is all the consonants are converted into lowercase. Now that is an easy step, you can simply do that in another loop. So let's just write our code for that particular loop as well. So for I in range, now this time we are going to do it for the result array and not for the list which we created earlier. Sorry, it's answer, not result. So what we are going to do is, if answer of I is greater than or equal to the capital letter A, or answer of I is less than or equal to the capital letter Z, which means we are simply checking if the ith variable of our result list is capital or not. If that is the case, we are simply going to replace the ith variable with the lower form of, or the lowercase version of the ith variable. So we are going to change it to a lower form. Now lower is a function in Python which is converting your elements into lowercase. However, sometimes it does not show up in your IDE, so you should be aware of it. Now since we have completed all the three loops here, we can simply print the result. Now since printing the result will only print the list and not the result which is expected in our question as the output here, what we want to do is use the join function in Python to join our list. So we will be writing join, and we will be passing our list, which is the result list. So now let's try to run this code and check if everything is working fine. Alright, so everything is working fine, I guess. So let's try and run this and provide this as an input. So you can see that we have the output just like the sample output which we have provided, and let's do it for this one. We are not going to iterate for everyone, we are going to do this for the one which has a starting as a vowel, that is A. So let's pass it in and see the answer. So you can see that after A there is D, but before D there will be a star. So that is the second step which we are following in this case. However, since A was the starting and it was a vowel, because of which there was no star appended before A, and that is why we needed this option here to check it, wherein the length of our variable is going to be greater than 0 or not. That is why we basically wrote that. So that was the program all about. So that's it from my side. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe to the Ribox channel and also join our Telegram channels as well. Also, as a gentle reminder, we have started crash courses for aptitude section for the Wipro NLTH examination. You can also go and check out the crash course playlist available on our channel. So thank you for watching this video once again. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, and as always, keep learning and keep programming.